Welcome to Owl Books. Today discuss Chapter 15 and 16 of book The Power of Self-Discipline Part 3. Self-discipline and the good life. Your ultimate goal in life is to achieve your own happiness. No one else can do this for you. This personal desire is the motivation behind almost every behavior. No one else can do this for you. This personal desire is the motivation behind almost every behavior. Moreover, happiness is more emotional and spiritual than it is a matter of acquiring material things. In this part, you will learn how the practice of discipline in the most important areas of your life can bring you more joy and satisfaction than perhaps any other quality. Chapter 15. Self-discipline and happiness. No horse gets anywhere until he is harnessed. No stream or gas drives anything until it is confined. No Niagara is ever turned into light and power until it is tunneled. No life ever grows great until it is focused, dedicated, disciplined. Harry Emerson Fosdick. Your ability to achieve your own happiness is the true measure of your success in life. Nothing is more important. Nothing can replace it. If you accomplish everything of a material nature, but you are not happy, you have actually failed at fulfilling your potential as a human being. In Chapter 4, I described how human beings are purposeful, striving toward achieving goals and end results. However, behind each goal lies another goal, and then still another goal, until you finally arrive at the primum movum, or first moving force, in human life. This always turns out to be the desire to be happy. You can only truly be happy when you practice self-discipline, self-mastery, and self-control. It is only when you feel that you are in complete control of your life that you are truly content. The law of control. In my book Maximum Achievement, I teach the importance of the law of control, which states, you feel happy to the degree to which you feel you are in control of your own life. You feel unhappy to the degree to which you feel you are not in control, or controlled by other factors or people. Psychologists call this your locus of control. There are 50 years of research and hundreds of books and articles on this subject. They all conclude that stress and unhappiness arise when you feel controlled by outside circumstances. This is explained as the difference between an internal locus of control, happy, and an external locus of control, unhappy. You have an internal locus of control when you feel that you are in charge, you make your own decisions, and what happens to you in life is largely determined by yourself. When you have an internal locus of control, you feel that you are behind the wheel of your own life and that you are in the driver's seat. You feel that you determine most of what happens to you. As a result, you feel strong, purposeful, and happy. On the other hand, you have an external locus of control to the degree to which you feel that you are not in control or that you have little ability to direct your own life. For example, if you feel that you are controlled by an arbitrary or critical boss, but you cannot afford to lose your job because you have no savings put aside, you experience high levels of stress and anxiety. This causes you to do a poor job, which makes it even more likely that your difficult boss will fire you, and this very often brings about exactly the circumstances you fear. Another example is that you may feel you are controlled by a bad marriage or relationship from which you cannot escape. You may feel controlled by your bills, by the money you owe, and your obligations to maintain your standard of living. You may feel that you are controlled by your physical condition or lack of education. Many people feel that they are controlled by their past because of a difficult childhood or upbringing and that there is nothing they can do to change their situation. Many people feel that they are controlled by their own personalities and that they are not able to change for the better. They say, "That's just the way I am." By saying this, they absolve themselves of all responsibility for exerting the necessary discipline and willpower to make the changes they know they need to make in order to live the kind of life they want to live and to be happy. The key to replacing an external locus of control with an internal locus of control is for you to decide today to take complete charge of your life. Realize and accept that you make your own decisions and that you are where you are and what you are because of yourself. If there is some area in your life in which you are not happy, discipline yourself to do whatever it takes to change the situation. The reason for happiness. It is often the size of the gap between your present situation and the conditions and circumstances that you feel that you need to be happy that determines whether you are happy or unhappy. This is very much a matter of your own evaluation and decision. There is an old saying that success is getting what you want, happiness is wanting what you get. When your income and your life are consistent with your goals and expectations and you are content with your situation, you feel happy. If, on the other hand, for any reason your current situation is different from what you really want and expect, you will be discontented and unhappy. This state of contentment can be constantly changing. When you start off in your career, an income of $50,000 per year can seem like a huge achievement. But once you reach this goal, you start to be unhappy because you are not earning $100,000 or more. Some people are unhappy earning $1 million a year. Happiness is a byproduct. The interesting thing about happiness is that it is not a goal that you can aim at and achieve in and of itself. Happiness is a byproduct that comes to you when you are engaged in doing something that you really enjoy while in the company of people who you like and respect. Earl Nightingale, perhaps the most famous and respected radio commentator on success in history, said that happiness is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Whenever you feel that you are moving, step by step, towards something that is important to you, toward your most important goals, you automatically feel happy. You feel satisfied and content. You feel a tremendous sense of personal growth and well-being. 5 ingredients of happiness. Self-discipline is essential to happiness. Self-discipline requires both that you determine clearly what happiness means to you and also that you work progressively each day toward the achievement of that ideal condition. In my experience and teachings, I have found that there are 5 ingredients to happiness. A shortfall in any of these areas can cause stress, unhappiness, and a feeling of being out of control. 5 ingredients of happiness. 1. Health and energy. This is perhaps the most important element of a good life. We strive for it all our lives. It is only when you enjoy high levels of pain-free health and a continuous flow of energy that you feel truly happy. In many cases, health is a deficiency need. This means that you do not think about your health very much until you are deprived of it. For example, you do not think about your teeth until you have a toothache. You do not think about your body until you have aches or pains of some kind. You must use discipline and willpower throughout your life to achieve and maintain high levels of health and fitness. Chapters 16 and 17 cover these in more detail. 2. Happy relationships. Fully 85% of your happiness, or unhappiness, will come from your relationships with other people. As Aristotle said, man is a social animal. We are designed to function in society, working and living with other people at every stage of our lives. Your ability to enter into and others is the true measure of the quality of your personality and your level of mental health. People with high levels of self-esteem and self-respect get along better with others and have much happier lives. One of our biggest mistakes is to take our relationships for granted, especially our most important ones. We often don't think about them until there is a problem, and then we think of nothing else. 3. Meaningful work. To be truly happy, you must be fully engaged with life. You must be doing things that keep you active and give you a sense of fulfillment. If you are making a living, you must be doing work that you enjoy, do well, and for which you are well paid. People are truly happy only when they feel they are making a contribution of some kind, that they are putting in more than they are taking out. You need to feel that what you do really makes a difference in the lives and work of other people. In studies of employee motivation, employers think that people are primarily motivated by money and benefits. But when employees are surveyed, the 3 factors that motivate them the most turn out to be challenging and interesting work, opportunities for growth and advancement, and pleasant coworkers. One of your most important responsibilities to yourself is to find the right job for you, and then, once you have it, throw your whole heart into it. If for any reason, you do not feel like putting your whole heart into your work, it may be lacking one or more of the 3 essentials to a positive workplace. It may be a sign that this is not the right place for you. 4. Financial independence. Some of the greatest fears we experience are those of loss, failure, and poverty. We fear being destitute, without funds, and dependent on others. One of your chief responsibilities to yourself is to work toward financial independence and financial freedom throughout your life. The happiest of all people are those who have reached the point at which they no longer worry about money. This is not something you can leave to chance, but rather something that requires deliberate, purposeful action and tremendous self-discipline to achieve. Whenever you feel that there is a big gap between where you are today financially and where you would ideally like to be, you experience stress, worry, and unhappiness. 5. Self-actualization. This is the feeling that you are becoming everything you are capable of becoming. This occurs when you feel that you are realizing more and more of your true potential. Abraham Maslow is best known for his hierarchy of needs. He determined that people have both deficiency needs and being needs. People strive either to compensate for their deficiencies or to realize their potentials. He concluded that you begin to evolve and develop to the highest levels possible for you only when your deficiency needs are first satisfied. Deficiency needs. Your first deficiency need is for safety and survival. Satisfying this need requires that you have sufficient food, water, clothing, and accommodation to preserve your life and well-being. If for any reason your safety or survival is threatened, you will become totally preoccupied with satisfying this need. You will experience tremendous stress, and you will be completely unhappy until you are safe once more. For example, think about being in a life-threatening situation. The second deficiency need that Maslow identified is the need for security. This need embraces financial, emotional, and physical security. You need to have enough money to provide for yourself, security in your relationships at work and at home, and physical security to assure that you are not in danger of any kind. If your security needs are threatened, you become completely preoccupied with them. For example, think about losing your job suddenly. How would you feel? The third deficiency need that Maslow identified is belongingness. Each person has a need to be in social relationships with others, both at home and at work. You need to be recognized and accepted by other people in your world. Each person needs to be comfortable in his or her relationships with others and seen and accepted as part of a team or group. Self-esteem needs. Once you have achieved a sufficient level of each of these basic needs, safety, security, and belongingness, you then turn to satisfy the higher needs for self-esteem and self-worth, your being needs. Your self-esteem is the core of your personality and largely determines how you feel about everything that happens to you. Everything you do in life is either to increase your self-esteem or to protect it from being diminished. Your self-esteem, how you feel about yourself and how much you like and value yourself, determines your happiness more than any other single factor. Your self-esteem comes from many factors. When you are liked and accepted by others, living consistently with your highest values, doing a good job and being recognized for it, and moving progressively toward the achievement of your goals and ideals, then you naturally feel happy and satisfied. You feel valuable and very much in control. The highest human need. The highest need that Maslow identified was for self-actualization. He concluded that less than 2% of the population ever reaches this height of personal fulfillment. Most people remain so preoccupied with their deficiency needs in protecting or enhancing their self-esteem and their ego needs that they give little thought or effort to self-actualization. But it is only when you realize that you have tremendous personal potential and begin striving to do, be, and have more than ever before in some area that you begin to experience self-actualization and true happiness. The happiest of all people are those who feel that they are doing something worthwhile and important with their lives. They feel they are stretching and moving beyond anything they've ever done before. People devoted to self-actualization may be writing books or creating works of art. They may be climbing mountains or competing in sports. They may be building businesses or scaling the heights of their professions. The wonderful thing about self-actualization needs is that they can never be completely satisfied. As you continually strive throughout your life to be and have and do more than ever before, you experience a steady flow of happiness and contentment. You feel that you are becoming more and more of what you were truly meant to become. Never be satisfied in each of these areas. Whenever you exert self-discipline and willpower to overcome the tendency to take the easy way, you feel happier about yourself. When you take a leap of faith in the direction of your dreams and then discipline yourself to keep going in spite of all obstacles and hardships, you feel powerful. Your self-esteem and self-confidence increase, and then as you move, step by step, toward your ideals, you feel genuinely happy. In the next chapter, you will learn how to incorporate self-discipline into your daily health habits to ensure that you live a long, happy, healthy life. Action exercises. 1. Identify the areas of your life in which you feel the happiest and the most in control. How could you expand them? 2. Identify the areas of your life in which you feel controlled by other people or factors. What could you do to resolve these situations? 3. Identify those areas in your life in which there is a gap between your current levels of accomplishment and what you would really like to achieve. What could you do to bridge these gaps? 4. Identify the most pressing needs you have today that are not being fulfilled. How could you begin to satisfy these deficiency needs? 5. Identify those activities that give you the greatest feeling of personal happiness, your peak experiences in life. What could you do to increase these moments of happiness? 6. Identify those areas in life in which you feel the most discontented. What steps could you take immediately to resolve these feelings of discontent? 7. Define happiness for yourself. What does it mean? What would have to happen for you to feel truly happy? What could you do immediately to create this situation? Chapter 16. Self-discipline and personal health. Self-respect as the root of discipline. The sense of dignity grows with the ability to say no to oneself. Abraham Joshua Heschel. More people are living longer and better today than ever before in human history, and your goal should be to be one of those people. There is no area in which self-discipline is more important than in your practices regarding your health. Your number one goal for yourself should be to live as long and as well as you possibly can. This requires lifelong self-discipline with your health habits, and as mentioned in Chapter 15, good health is one of the ingredients of overall happiness. The average life expectancy for males today in 2009 is 76.8 years, for females 79.8 years, or approximately 80 years, and this number is increasing each year. This means that about 50% of the population will die before the age of 80 and about 50% will die after the age of 80. Your goal should be to defy the averages and live to age 90, 95, or even longer. Living a long life. Today, most causes of early death that had shortened life in the past have been eliminated in the industrialized world. Diseases such as tuberculosis, polio, malaria, cholera, typhus, and others have been wiped out through sanitation and modern medicine. The predominant causes of early deaths today are heart disease, cancer of all kinds, diabetes, and traffic deaths, all of which are subject to your control to a certain extent. You cannot predict or protect against the unpredictable, like random accidents, but you can use your self-discipline to control the controllable in your life. 7 Key Health Habits. The Alameda study, covering many thousands of people for more than 20 years, concluded there were 7 key health habits that contributed the most to long life. 1. Eat regularly rather than fasting, starving, or gorging. Eat normal, healthy meals, preferably 5 or 6 times per day, with your last meal fully 3 hours before you go to sleep. 2. Eat lightly. Overeating makes you tired and sluggish, whereas eating lightly makes you feel healthy and alert. As Thomas Jefferson wrote, no one ever regretted eating too little after a meal. 3. Don't snack between meals. When you eat, your body has to break down and digest the foods in your stomach so that they can move into your small intestine. This requires 4 to 5 hours. If you put food in on top of food that you have already eaten, the digestive process must start over again, with part of your food at one stage of digestion and another part of your food at another stage. This leads to upset stomach, heartburn, drowsiness, especially in the afternoon, and constipation. 4. Exercise regularly. The ideal is about 30 minutes a day, or 200 minutes per week. You can achieve this by walking, running, swimming, and/or using exercise equipment. You should fully articulate every joint every day. 5. Wear a seatbelt. Right up to age 35, the most common cause of premature death is traffic accidents. 6. Don't smoke. Smoking is correlated with 32 different illnesses including lung cancer, ESO, phageal cancer, throat cancer, stomach cancer, heart disease and a variety of other ailments. 7. Drink alcohol in moderation. Studies show that 1 to 2 glasses of wine per day aid digestion and seem to be beneficial to your overall health. Anything in excess of that can lead to all kinds of problems, including overeating, traffic accidents, personality problems, and antisocial behavior. Each of these 7 factors that contribute to long life are completely a matter of self-discipline. These 7 factors are a matter of choice. They are actions that you can choose to take or not take deliberately. They are completely under your control. The 5 P-seconds of excellent health. In my personal development seminars, we teach the 5 P's of excellent health. 1. Proper weight. This requires the regular exercise of discipline and willpower in order to achieve your proper weight and then to maintain it throughout your life, but the payoff is tremendous. You look good, feel good, and generally feel more positive and in control of your life. 2. Proper diet. As Benjamin Franklin said, eat to live rather than live to eat. According to studies of Olympic athletes from more than 120 countries, the 3 factors their diets have in common are 1. Lean source protein, 2. A wide variety of fruits and vegetables, and 3. Lots of water, about 8 glasses per day. When you begin this Olympic diet, you will feel more alert, awake, and aware all day long. 3. Proper exercise. The most important exercise for long life is aerobic exercise. This requires that you get your heart rate up to a high level for 30 to 60 minutes 3 times per week. You can achieve this through brisk walking, running, cycling, swimming, or cross-country skiing. Exercise physiologists have determined that the exercise effect clicks in at about 25 minutes of vigorous exercise. At this point, your brain releases endorphins that give you a feeling of elation, or what is called a runner's high. This natural drug produced by your body can become addictive in a very positive way. People who develop the habit of regular, vigorous exercise find that it becomes easier and easier to do. They begin to look forward to the feeling of happiness they enjoy as the result of exercising aerobically. 4. Proper rest. This is very important. More than 60% of adults do not get enough sleep. They are suffering from what is called a sleep deficit. They go to bed a little bit too late, sleep poorly, arise a little bit too early, and go through the day in a form of fog. This phenomenon of not being sufficiently rested leads to poor performance, more mistakes, industrial accidents, car crashes, short tempers, personality problems, and many other difficulties. If you are living and working a normal life, you require about 8 hours of sleep each night. If you get only 6 or 7 hours of sleep when you actually require 8, you begin to build up this sleep deficit. By Thursday or Friday, when you get up in the morning, the first thing you think of is how soon you can go back to sleep again that night. When you start thinking about going to sleep again at the moment that you arise, you know that you are not getting enough sleep. In addition to 8 hours of sleep per night, you need regular breaks from work, both weekends and vacations. When you take time off from work, you allow your mental and emotional batteries to recharge. After a 2 or 3 day weekend, when you go back to work, you will be fully rested and ready to perform at your best. 5. Proper attitude. This is perhaps the most important of all. The quality that is most predictive of health, happiness, and long life is optimism. As you become more optimistic about yourself and your life, your health will also be better in every area. People who are positive and optimistic usually have stronger immune systems, and as a result, they are seldom sick. They seldom get colds or flu. They bounce back quickly from hard work or fatigue. An optimistic person has a built-in Teflon shield against many of the diseases and ailments that affect the average person. Get your weight under control. The biggest single problem with self-discipline that people have today is overeating and becoming overweight. More than 60% of Americans are officially overweight, and more than 30% are obese, which is defined as being more than 30% above their normal weight. There is no area in which self-discipline is more necessary than in getting your weight under control and then keeping it under control for the rest of your life. You have heard it said that diets don't work. What this really means is that when you starve yourself to lose weight, you will tend to put the weight back on almost as quickly as you lost it. There are many reasons for this. Each person has a certain metabolic rate. This is the rate at which you burn energy. This metabolic rate is set over the course of your lifetime by the amount of food you eat relative to the amount of exercise you do to work it off. In addition to your metabolic rate, you have what is called a set point. This is where your weight is set, like a thermostat, and to which it returns no matter how much you take off as the result of crash dieting. Change your set point. To lose weight permanently, you must change your set point to a lower number. To achieve this, the first thing you do is to create a clear mental image of how you will look when you are at your ideal weight. Get a picture out of a magazine of someone who has the body you want to have, and then paste your photo where their face appears. You then begin a gradual process of permanently changing the quality and quantity of what you eat, with no intention of ever going back. Be prepared to work on this permanent change for at least a year. Remember, if you are overweight, it has taken you many years to get to where you are today. Be prepared to invest a lot of time in getting back. The fatal flaw in dieting. Many people diet and lose weight with the idea that as soon as they have dropped a certain number of pounds, they can reward themselves by going out and having a fabulous meal or consuming unlimited desserts. In other words, they use the idea of filling up on food as the reward for losing weight in the first place. This approach is doomed to failure. Instead, set up a reward system for yourself that does not include food. Decide instead to buy yourself new clothes that will fit you only at your ideal weight. Take yourself and your family on a vacation where you engage in fun activities. Make a bet with someone that you will take off the weight and keep it off for 1 year. The formula for permanent weight loss. The key to perfect health can be summarized in 5 words: eat less and exercise more. The only way that you can lose weight permanently is to burn off more calories than you consume. There is no other way. Moreover, you can do this only over an extended period of time, especially if you have allowed yourself to put on a lot of excess weight. In my program, Thinking Big, we teach the importance of avoiding the 3 white poisons: sugar, salt, and flour. Get rid of sugar. To lose weight permanently and to enjoy high levels of health and energy, you should eliminate all simple sugars from your diet. Simple sugars are contained in candy, cake, pastries, desserts, soft drinks, canned fruits, sugar in your coffee, and all other forms of sugar that people consume in large quantities every day. The fact is that you require no additional sugar to enjoy superb levels of physical health. Simply by eliminating all sugar and sugar products from your life, by going cold turkey on sugar, you will begin to lose as much as 1 pound per day. Pass on the salt. In addition, you should eliminate all additional salt from your diet. Although the average American gets sufficient salt in all the different foods he eats, he consumes an extra 20 pounds of salt each year by eating foods with high salt content and by then adding additional salt to meals. When you consume excess salt, your body retains water in order to hold that salt in suspension. When you stop consuming excess salt and simultaneously drink 8 glasses of water per day, your body releases all the excess fluid and you can actually experience weight drops of as much as 4 or 5 pounds in the first day. Avoid white flour products. Finally, eliminate all white flour products from your diet. This means all breads, pastries, pastas, buns, rolls, and anything else made with white flour. White flour is actually an inert substance from which all nutrients have been removed and then bleached out. When you see the words, enriched white bread, it means that the white flour, which is essentially a dead food material, has been fortified with artificial, chemical vitamins, almost all of which are then destroyed in the baking process. There is no food value in a white flour product. A simple change of diet. Not long ago, I got a letter from a 32-year-old man in Florida. He told me that he had read my books and listened to my programs for years. He had achieved a higher level of financial and career success than he ever imagined possible. But he was still carrying an extra 20 pounds of weight that he could not get rid of, no matter what he did. Then one day, he listened to Thinking Big, and he heard my comments on the 3 white poisons. Fortunately, he was both disciplined and determined. He used his willpower to slam the brakes on these 3 foods and discontinue them completely. He said that what happened next was nothing short of miraculous. Within 6 months, he had dropped 22 pounds. When he wrote to me, he had kept them off for 2 years. He said that he looked different, felt different, was more attractive to women, and had higher levels of self-confidence and self-esteem. His whole life had improved since he dropped the excess weight. Live to be 100. Your goal in life should be to enjoy the highest levels of health and energy possible. This requires that you eat the right foods and fewer of them. It requires that you get regular exercise and move every joint of your body every single day. To enjoy superb physical health, you must get lots of rest and recreation. Above all, you must maintain a positive mental attitude in which you look for the good in every situation and remain determined to be a completely positive person. In each of these areas, the exertion of self-discipline and willpower will give you payoffs that are far beyond the effort that you put in. By practicing self-discipline in your health habits, you can live longer and better than you ever imagined possible. Chapter 17 provides even more ideas, specifically focused on exercise and becoming physically fit. Action exercises. 1. Idealize with regard to your health. If you could wave a magic wand and make your health perfect in every way, how would it be different from today? 2. Resolve to make the rest of your life the best of your life. What is the first thing you should change or do? 3. Get a complete medical examination and ask your doctor for advice on how to enjoy superb levels of physical health. Then follow that advice. 4. Determine your ideal weight and set it as a goal. Use the goal-setting process you learned in Chapter 4 to make a plan to achieve it and keep it there for life. 5. Use mindstorming, described in Chapter 4, and write out a list of at least 20 answers to the question, what can I do every day to enjoy superb levels of health and energy? 6. Review the health habits and research discussed in this chapter and give yourself a grade ranging from 1 to 10 on how well you are practicing them. 7. Decide on one specific action that you are going to take immediately to ensure that you live to be age 80, 90, and beyond. Thank you for watching. If you like audiobooks, then don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon for more videos.